Review copy provided by Nintendo. Hi, my name is Will Schultz, and today I'm here to review Nintendo Switch Sports for the Nintendo Switch. I was a real big fan of Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, so I was excited to get my hands on this one. I know what this game is about, you know what this game is about, so let's cut to the chase and talk some sports. I feel like the sport most people were excited about was bowling. I am happy to report that the bowling in Nintendo Switch Sports feels just fantastic. If you hook the ball with your wrist, it spins responsively, and it's just as much fun as you remember. New to Nintendo Switch Sports is the survival mode, where 16 players are all put in the same lobby, you bowl all at the same time, and every 3 frames, some of the bowlers get eliminated. If you can keep your score high enough, you can make it all the way to the end and see if you can claim some sort of bowling victory royale. I think the mode is a lot of fun, but man, sometimes it's hard to get past those opening 3 frames. It really feels like one open is enough to see you eliminated sometimes. There's also a new special mode, where the lane is anything but ordinary. There are pits, divots, hills, bumpers, obstacles that pop up and down. It's madness, it's crazy. So if you're looking for a little extra challenge, it's there for you. Next, I want to talk badminton. When they announced badminton for Nintendo Switch Sports, I thought it was completely unnecessary. The game already has tennis. Let me tell you, the badminton in Nintendo Switch Sports feels like the natural evolution of the tennis game. It uses a more detailed movement for the racket, so that it's easier for you to swipe things to the left, the right, or just spike them straight back down at people. There's also a drop shot available that just makes for some real nasty points. I love it. The only real trick to badminton is the timing. If you're a little too far away when you swing that racket, you'll hit a wobbly shot that can just get driven straight back down your throat for an easy point. I didn't expect to love badminton as much as I do, but it's one of my favorites in the entire package. The game my son was most excited for is Chambara, or the sword fighting. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the sword fighting going in, but thanks to the 3 different styles that you can use in the game, it feels pretty robust. There's a normal sword that has some pretty standard attacks, there's a charged sword that powers up as you block moves, and then there's twin swords, which frankly feels like insanity to me and I don't quite understand them yet. The important thing is, all 3 styles feel fairly unique and viable. The Charge Blade is definitely my favorite, but I've seen a lot of people have success with the others too. Another new game for Nintendo Switch Sports is volleyball. Now I like the volleyball, but it is the most mechanically complex game in the package. Volleyball is the game that perhaps more than any other, you are going to have to explain to someone before they start playing. Depending on how the game unfolds, you may find yourself bumping and then rushing forward to jump and spike the ball back over the net. You may just find yourself trying to block a spike and then setting up the ball for the next person. There's a lot going on, and your role in the game is very fluid in a way that you don't really see with any of the other sports. You'll go back and forth in your roles, and you need to be ready to change on a split second's notice. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but once I did get accustomed to it after a few games, I did find myself enjoying it quite a bit. Tennis is back, and it's very much the game that you remember from the original Wii Sports, or at least it feels that way to me. Tennis can be played alone, where you have a ghost partner, or in true doubles, where you play with another person. You serve the ball, you hit the ball back and forth. I don't really feel like there's a lot to say about tennis. It's a lot of fun, but it is probably the simplest game here. You can roll your wrist to put topspin on the ball, but I haven't really been able to work that into a usable strategy yet. But it's not to say that it's bad for its simplicity. Sometimes simplicity is good, and I feel like that's what it is for tennis. It's not my go-to game the way it used to be, but I do like to play it to kind of come down from other games. The big surprise for me was the soccer. I wasn't sure how I thought the soccer was going to work, but it turns out that when you play online, it's like Rocket League, but without the parts of Rocket League I'm bad at. You and 3 other people are pitted against 4 other people as you try to kick a giant soccer ball into the other net. It's a simple premise, but there's a lot of teamwork involved. Now it's true, a lot of games I've had, everybody clumps around the ball like a bunch of kindergartners, But, every once in a while, someone knows what they're doing, or at the very least, you'll get an opportunity to show that you know what you're doing, and that can really make the difference. In a game where everyone is clicking and kind of knows what to do, it's fantastic. The teamwork is just spectacular. My only criticisms for soccer is that it feels a little slow. I wish the players ran a little faster, or I wish the field was a little smaller, one of the two. Something to make it a little easier to cover large stretches of empty field. The biggest innovation that Nintendo Switch Sports brings to the table is online play. Online is how the game expects you to play it, to be honest. It's the default mode on the main menu, and it's the only way to earn unlockable customization items. Fortunately, the online performance has been spectacular in my experience. I've played the game for many, many hours at this point, and I've really only had 1 or 2 games, period, where lag really was a noticeable problem. I've had people rage quit, but that's a different issue altogether. Nintendo Switch games don't always have the best reputation as far as online performance goes, but in my opinion, Nintendo Switch Sports is right up there with Splatoon as far as relatively seamless, problem-free online experiences go. It's also easy to play with 2 people on the same console online and play together. There are only 2 games where it's a problem, and that's the one-on-one games of Badminton and Chambara, and there you take turns. I mentioned customization items, and that's as good a segue as any to talk about the new avatars. The default avatar in Nintendo Switch Sports is not a Mii. It's a more human-like character called Sportsmates. You can use a Mii head if you like, but it literally just puts the Mii head of your choice onto the regular Sportmate body, which looks a little funny, but not completely ridiculous. When you design your avatar, you've got a pretty limited stable of different hairstyles and colors and things like that to really try to make your avatar your own. To get more, you need to play online. After every match, you'll earn some points. They fill a meter. Once you get 100 points, you get a customization item, but not the one you want. How Nintendo Switch Sports handles its cosmetics is you're presented with a card. That card will have a selection of items on it, and then a promised reward if you get all the items on the card. There are more than one card available, so you do have a little bit of choice there, but once you pick the card, you get an item at random. And once you've earned enough points to get all the items on all the cards that are available, you just don't earn any additional rewards. That's what really bothers me about the customization, because I know for a fact that there are different items available for the same series of card, but I just don't get a chance at those. My wife, for example, is absolutely furious that I have an adorable tracksuit as a reward from the Cute set. The tracksuit on her card for the Cute set is very red. It's like all red, it's very plain. She hates it. There's no way for me to earn that red one right now, and there's no way for her to earn the Cute one that she wants. Because I filled the Cute card, and now I just don't get any more Cute items for at least 2 weeks. I know that there are more items in these sets that I don't have. My son has items I don't have. I have skins for items that neither my wife nor my son have. But they're walled off in a way that feels kind of bad, honestly. And that's really my biggest criticism of the whole game at this point. The cosmetics are drip-fed to you at just a snail's pace. A card looks like a lot, but it doesn't take very long to claim everything on it, and then you're at square one. You're stuck with what you have. I hope you liked it. I don't know if they plan on adding a shop later, but right now there's not even a way to work toward a specific reward if you want it. It's not the kind of thing that you shouldn't buy the game over, but in a game where avatar customization feels like one of the only things you can do to really distinguish yourself online, you don't really have a lot of options. As always, we gotta make some special notes about the family-appropriate nature of this game, because we are the Mega Dads and we do have families. And Nintendo Switch Sports is perhaps the most family-friendly game ever reviewed on this channel. There is nothing objectionable here whatsoever. It is a great time. Nothing is so complex that your kid won't get it. If they can swing a remote, they can play tennis. Super young kids may not quite grasp the intricacies of volleyball or soccer, but as long as they can swing a Joy-Con around, they can play Chambara, they can play tennis. This is a great family experience, and playing locally, you can get up to 4 people going at the same time. This is a no-brainer if you have young kids that need to get some energy out, or if you're just an old man who played with a Wii when he was growing up and now he's got kids of his own. At the end of the day, Nintendo Switch Sports is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's more of the motion-controlled sports minigames that I enjoyed an undisclosed number of years ago. It's a ton of fun to play solo or with family. Playing online is fun and easy. My only real sticking point is that character customization. If you've got a Switch, I recommend this game wholeheartedly. There's nothing revolutionary here, but what is here is a damn good time. And that's why I'm giving Nintendo Switch Sports a 4 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching this Megadad's review. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button and maybe leave a comment telling me what you liked about it or what you like about Nintendo Switch Sports. If you want to see more from us, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell to be kept up on the latest that we do here at Megadads. That's all for me today, but I'll be back real soon here on Megadads, where gamer life meets real life.